All right. All right. So let me ask you this. This whole I heard a lot of background stuff about this mentality that men are adopting in the Israelite movement, right? As far as second wives, how they treat women, the role of a woman, and everything. So, why you smiling? Hey, you had nothing, so let's just get into it. All right. So, and we might put this later. This might not come out right now. This might come out later. But um, second wives.
What's my opinion on second
Yeah. What's your
wives?
opinion on second wives?
I think for most people, it is not the most ideal situation, but I think for some families, it can serve them well or it can work. But I think for most families that come from the West who did not grow up in households or are not accustomed to households with second wives, I think it's too big of a cultural gap to bridge that gap. I don't think the wife is going to be accepting. I think it's going to be more detrimental to the relationship, to the family than anything. It's not worth it.
Okay. Do you think it's lawful according to the Bible?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I guess if I had to say, I would say yes. But yeah, some things are lawful but not expedient.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of those things.
No, okay, for me, my okay, so I like to deal with it from a practical perspective, right? So I think, wife is a helpmeet. And there was a time where the more family you had, the more wealth you had. You might have a lot of land and you don't have a lot of people to help you till this land or work this land. So you have a large family, large posterity. And and they kind of work hand in hand. In today's age and time, um, I don't really see the point and purpose of having more than one wife. I mean, there are countries where people still do that. We interviewed a sister. She comes from that. Her dad had, I think, two wives when she was born, and then he had three. He had took another wife, and he had just recently informed those three women that because he was going to take another wife, and they had about. He was like, he wasn't asking them. He was letting them know, hey, I'm taking another wife next year. Whatever. So you got about a
Hmm.
year to prepare for her and to mentally prepare. You know, so it's still something practiced. I just don't see the point and purpose in this day and age. I think it's completely lawful according to the Bible. I don't see anywhere in the Bible where it would, say something other contrary to that. But I just don't see the point and the purpose. And the way I look at it, because ha- you know, the way we live in a capitalistic society and the way it's set up, that's just a greater burden for a man.
It's true.
It's a greater
These
burden.
days, families are more of a liability than an asset. Back then, families were an asset, children were an asset. These days, it's a liability. So it's a totally different
Yeah.
situation. And even thinking about building wealth and investing your resources. So having a large family was a way to build your wealth and to make sure that your wealth stays in your family versus today. There are many different ways to invest and to build your wealth. Taking a second wife does, that's you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I just don't see the point. Like, cause I be and I told the story to people before, but not here. So I be like, when we first we first moved to Egypt, and and I had learned about this second wife thing. It was something that I was, I considered it whatever. But every time we would get into anytime you would make me upset, we would get into about whatever. It was always trivial stuff. We've never really had like no earth shattering argument, disagreement. But it was just certain things you would do piss me off, whatever we get into it. And I say to myself, you know what, I'm gonna give me another wife. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna just sit and deal with this, all the time.
Like you were really contemplating it.
No, I was every time. Yes, I was. Yes,
Like you
really,
was for real.
really.
Like
I'm gonna
you
tell.
really,
I'm gonna tell you how for real I
like it
was.
wasn't just the
No, I'm
idea.
gonna tell you how for real I was because I thought it through.
You
I
planned
thought it.
it out.
I thought it through, and I realized, I said, man, if I take another wife, then I'm gonna have two women I don't like. Two women getting on my nerves. On top of that, I got two refrigerators to fill up. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna have two household worth of children to take up. Like I really thought about it. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, okay. Then I'm gonna get frustrated with these two women. Then I'm gonna go get another one. And now I got three women I don't like. And then you know what I'm saying? And it just keep compounding and compounding.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, right? We've been married 11 years. Well, 12, 11, long time, right? I know I put 11 on thing. How long we been married?
It'll be 12 in
So
December.
okay, I'm right, 11 years. All right. Um, so I mean, I thought about that. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. As I get older, I realize that second wife, that's a young man game because, like, it's just a lot to keep up with. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then as you get older, you realize the relationship, the connection. Like at this point, even if you were to pass away, it would take me some time to even want to connect with another person and do that all over again. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? To reestablish that connection, that experience, the time. You know what I'm saying? Then and then I'm gonna bring another woman in to be the mother of my children.
Yeah.
Like it's just, you know what I'm saying? So, um, the idea of another woman, like it's just weird to me at this point, at my age now. When like I said back then, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, yeah, I was on the cusp. I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna give me another one. Mm-mm.
So, I mean, did you plan out how you were gonna tell me about this? I'm curious.
What do you
How,
mean? How I'm gonna tell you about it? Hey, listen, I'm gonna give me another wife. That's how I was. I mean, that I
so
was.
how did you expect me to react?
I don't know. I
You
don't
didn't
know.
even consider my
No, I was
feelings.
upset. Not, I
How I
mean,
was
I
gonna
wasn't upset. Like
react,
I had, you know what I'm
how
saying.
this is gonna play out.
I mean, how else could it play out? help, help me see how else gonna play out.
All right, deuces, I'm out. You didn't think I would do that?
But then you unlawfully leaving your husband.
That's fine,
Like
but I'll
if
be out by my
because
lonesome
because I feel like if
without the woes and troubles of.
no, you're gonna be a single mother. That's dumb. Because at this point, because it's not me, it's God, right? You
It ain't
gotta
dumb.
abide by the scriptures. So you gonna abandon the scriptures just because you don't like the situation?
I'm not gonna divorce you,
Hmm?
but we just ain't gonna live together.
Says who?
What you mean?
What
Says
what
who?
what scripture is that? You just gonna just leave?
I can
Why?
leave if I want to leave.
It ain't like I'm talking about bringing another woman into our house. You ain't got matter of fact, you ain't got to leave. I'ma leave. I'ma go establish another house over here. I'll come back from time
Okay.
to time. I'll be there when you
Oh,
need me. I'm gonna take care of my family. It ain't like, cause I'm gonna tell you. All right, and we talked about this before, right? This whole concept of
well, we'll see
sister.
you in the summers.
Well, hey, you know what I'm
You
saying?
come home, come to the
I
states for the
mean,
summer.
you will see me. So
We'll see.
my baby's gonna see me on a regular. You know, you ain't got to deal with me on a regular basis, but my babies will. But but we talked about this whole remember because people talking about when this thing was floating around, it was a real big deal. They talk about sister wives.
Uh huh.
That is a very strange concept to me. What is that? Where did that come from? A sister wife? That's weird to me.
Why is it weird to you?
What a sister wife? What is that? Like that don't sound weird. Sister wife, a brother husband. Like what?
Okay, brother husband sounds weird.
a,
Sister wife, I don't know.
a
It
sister wife.
doesn't sound weird to me,
What is
but
what is a sister wife?
I don't know. But anyway, I'm because it's like we all one family. So like we sisters.
No, but like I told you, I know it wasn't like a dead serious conversation, but I told you we was at the last flight. I say, look, if I was to ever get another wife, that's my wife. That's not your friend. That's
Why
not
we
your
can't
sister.
like you literally don't want us to be friends? Now that's retarded.
No, how did it? No, that works against me. Then y'all
Oh
get together and
gosh.
plot on me. No,
Oh Lord have
no,
mercy.
that's my wife.
You together and
That's
plot on you?
yeah, that's not your friend. That's
Ain't
not
no
your. You don't
insurance
know
money
her.
floating around here.
Hey, don't put my business out there. You don't know if I get insurance money or not. Hey,
Okay, it's
that's not.
between you and your other wife now.
Listen, but what I'm saying is that's my wife. Why would I want like that don't make sense? Why you want her to be your sister and all? That don't make no sense. That's my wife.
Because her children and my children are brothers and sisters. We're one family.
Yeah, but that's not your
So we have
sister.
to operate. Okay, but we still have to
But
operate.
yeah, I mean yes, granted. Like, but you're not gonna be living in the same house. You're not gonna be spending a whole bunch of time together. Like, you know what I'm saying? You'll spend necessary time together, but other than that, you got your own place. You got your own children, your own
Yeah,
thing to deal with. So,
yeah.
with this idea of sister wives is weird to me. I just don't know. That's my wife. You're my
Well,
wife.
I
She's my wife.
honestly I don't know how it's practiced in countries where polygamy is
I don't either. I know
prevalent. I don't even know.
we had the sister talk about it. Now I ran into this guy. He had a barbecue restaurant out here. He worked in a military base, and he learned how to do barbecue. Remember I told you about the guy?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I went sat down with him, and we chopped it up, and out of nowhere he just asked me about like having multiple wives or something. He brought it up, and so he was telling me that he was thinking about getting another wife, a third wife. And I said, third wife? He said, yeah, this business is my second wife. Because he was trying to start his restaurant, so
Oh,
he's like, it's his second
gotcha.
wife. But he
Yeah.
said he had a friend, he had a couple friends that had multiple wives, and he was saying how I forgot how the concept, I mean the conversation came up, but he broke it down. He was like, basically, uh, they live in one building, one
Mm.
wife on each floor, right?
Okay.
So wife up on first floor, one on second floor.
Okay.
I think that he had, or maybe one was on the ground, one was on the first floor, and that he stayed. He had his own place at the top on the third floor. So,
Okay.
and so he said that the children would play together, but rarely would the women get together.
Okay.
And he said because it keeps confusion down because when they get together, either they're gonna bond or they're gonna hate each
Right.
other. You
Right.
know, and I thought that was interesting. That was one aspect of it that I heard. But you know, bringing it back, I just don't see today somebody going to get another wife. And there's another thing. I say this too, right? A lot, and I don't know a lot of dudes that talk about this, right? But some
Mhm.
of these cats that talk about getting another wife ain't what you used to be 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, in their
You know what I'm saying?
mind,
Like,
they're prime candidates, but
you know what I'm
in
saying?
reality,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
yeah.
You
And
know,
then even the financial
right. The burden
aspect,
of it, like
that's a huge financial
you
commitment.
taking
And
care of
then
one
time
family.
wise too. But then on the other hand, you have men who who may or may not be spiritual or religious, but they have multiple families. They
Oh
have
yeah. I
multiple
mean that's
women.
that's something that's been going on anyway.
Right.
And that's
And
another
and that's
aspect
an
of it.
and to me, I feel like if you're gonna do it lawfully. Like if you're gonna have two families, have two wives.
Yeah.
Like make the commitment
Right, right.
to that
Instead of
woman,
having baby mamas, because that's
baby.
essentially the same thing. Dude got four baby mamas. He
Yeah.
got four wives. He got four families.
So I mean, these are men who a lot of times are wealthy or live in a certain kind of lifestyle. I don't know, but from that aspect, I feel like if you're gonna do it anyway, then do it lawfully. But I read this one article, and this was a Muslim woman, a Muslim American woman, and she was a second wife,
Hmm.
and she was giving her perspective. And when I read her perspective, I was like, okay, I could kind of see that. But because she was like, what's the benefits of her of being a second wife? A lot of times, well, she's the second wife, but she had a child from a previous relationship. And for her, she was saying that for her being a second wife, she's married. Basically, she has that covering of a husband.
Hmm.
She has the financial support of a husband. But she still has some freedom. Like she has more time to herself. She has more time to devote to her child who is from her previous relationship versus if her husband was there 24/7, then she would have to devote more time to catering
Yeah,
to her
yeah.
husband. But since he's not there all the time, she doesn't have to devote
All
so
that
much
time, yeah.
time to
But she still
catering
get the
to her
full benefits of her
husband,
husband.
but she still gets the benefits of it. So honestly, I was like, okay, I can see that. You get the benefits of a
Right.
husband,
But not the
but
burden.
not all the burden or, the
Yeah,
full load of having to
yeah.
cater
Be a
towards
full
your
time
husband.
wife to her, yeah.
Yes, you
Cause
like being a part-time
yeah,
wife,
part time
but
wife,
you get
yeah,
the
full time
full-time wife
husband.
benefits, I
Right.
guess.
Okay, I
I
can see
mean,
that.
that's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
So,
I know a guy here that
hold on, which is,
yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like side chick, like
kind
because
of.
some women
They prefer B-side chicks.
they
I've
that's
seen
what
that
they
in
want.
today's climate.
They
Yeah,
don't want to be like fully
obligated.
obligated. Yes, they
Yeah,
don't want the obligation of being like full-time wife. They just want the benefits that they get from their relationship, and they're cool with that.
yeah.
So,
Interesting. Interesting. I know a guy. He had a second wife for a time. It's a very interesting situation because it was his wife that she had a
Mm.
friend that lost her husband or something. She was the woman was by herself, and I think the woman had children. And so
Mm.
she said, "Hey, listen, marry her, and take care, provide, be a husband to her." And
Mm.
so the guy was like, that was kind of weird. They Muslim,
Right.
but ultimately he ended up going with it, and it was he said it was fine for a while, and then eventually I think the woman, the second wife, decided she didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Something I forget the details. It's horrible, but it's because I brought it up now. I forget the details, but that was an interesting aspect. Kind of like he did it. He was apprehensive about it at first, and his wife was okay with it, and then eventually the other woman, she guess she wanted a soul relationship, just one on one
Yeah.
type thing situation. But I want to ask you this.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
want to
Go
say
ahead.
something else because I mean, as I get older and as I've been married for a long time, and I have friends who are,
With it,
older
where
and
where are you going with this,
have been
ma'am?
married for a long time, I can understand more a woman's acceptance of her husband having a second wife because, like, you have your children, you tired from raising all these children, you don't want to have no more children, and then it's like you spend so much of your life devoted to your family, your children. And I can understand in this phase of your life as a woman, as a middle aged woman, older woman, it's like I want to do me and like if you want to go and start a new family and keep doing the family thing, do you, boo? And I'm going to do me over here.
Yeah.
I get it because also we've been married for so long. We have established an understanding in our relationship. At this point, I feel like our relationship. I don't feel like it'll be challenged, or I won't feel like
You might lose me to the
another relationship would change or affect or diminish
yeah. When and that's why I was gonna go
our
there. I was gonna go
relationship.
there too.
Now, I'm not saying that I
What?
want you to have a second wife
No, no,
or
yeah, I
a
know,
situation I
I know.
want, but I can understand
Right.
how a woman my age and my situation will
Could
say,
be more accepting of it.
okay,
Yeah.
like you got your little cute young thing, do you? But
Right.
we still got what we got, and
Right.
I got my children. We got our family.
And I
You
think
paying the bills,
and I think you get seniority.
so
You come first.
I can relax.
Right. So another thing. We got to pause for a minute because you said what you said being a middle-aged woman.
I know we're there.
Who? No, no, I didn't marry no middle-aged woman.
You,
What's going on here?
well,
When did this happen?
that was
We didn't
11
agree.
years ago.
We didn't
Okay,
agree to this. We didn't agree.
we
I didn't sign up for no middle-aged woman.
you didn't agree
No, I didn't sign up for
that
no
I
middle-aged
would
woman.
age.
Huh?
You thought I had a fountain of youth?
Hey, your people live to be 90, 100 years old.
This is
So,
true.
you know what I'm saying? I didn't agree
Okay,
to no
so I
middle-aged
won't call
woman.
myself middle age.
All right,
I
now.
won't call myself.
Yeah,
I give myself another decade or two before I call
don't
myself middle
don't
age.
do that. But so I wanted to go back to, and you kind of touched on it just now about the why, from your perspective, your opinion, why such a I feel like a what's the word the phrase I'm looking for the pushback I feel like is unwarranted. Like I can understand a woman saying I prefer not to be a part of a situation where my husband has more than one wife. I can understand that, but the pushback seems like uh it's not done with consideration. It's emotional. Like no, no, and then it's
Well,
like that's unlawful. You can't. The Bible don't say that. And it's like that's not. It's like in all these reaches and all these different illogical reasons why a man shouldn't have another wife. And like I said, because I can't tell somebody it's unlawful, I just don't see the point and purpose today, right? In most situations. But why? What is the emotional, or why does the idea of a second wife put a woman in such an emotional state